Mental strength isn't something you're born with. It's something you build. Brick by brick. Day by day. It starts with a decision. A decision to stop running from the hard things. A decision to stop avoiding what makes you uncomfortable. Growth lives in discomfort. But most people live their lives trying to stay safe, trying to stay warm, trying to stay unchanged. But let me tell you something. Nothing strong is built in comfort. Steel is forged in fire. Diamonds are made under pressure. And if you want to become mentally tough, you've got to step into the storm, not run from it. Confidence doesn't show up because you woke up feeling good. It's built through repetition. True strength, it's built through showing up when it's not easy, when no one is watching, when there's no applause. That's where it's born. In the daily grind. In the sweat. In the discipline. See, a lot of people want to feel confident before they act. But that's not how it works. Confidence comes after the action. You want to believe in yourself. Then do the things that prove to you that you can be trusted. Be consistent. Be honest. Be relentless. Keep promises to yourself. Because that's how confidence is built. Not by comfort, but by commitment. Fear is not the enemy. Let me say that again. Fear is not the enemy. Fear is a sign you're stepping into something bigger. Fear is the signal that you're stretching. So don't wait for fear to disappear. It won't. Courage doesn't mean the absence of fear. It means you move anyway. The strongest people you know, they're scared too. But they choose not to be ruled by it. They don't let fear speak louder than purpose. They understand that greatness isn't handed out. It's earned in the presence of fear. You learn to dance with it. You learn to move through it. Because what's on the other side of fear? Growth. Power. Freedom. True strength. You've got to be careful about what you feed your mind. Because what you feed it, that's the voice that will echo in your head when times get tough. True striding it doubt. Are you feeding it negativity? Or are you feeding it truth, discipline, belief, and vision? What you hear every day becomes what you believe. So start speaking life. Start speaking strength. Start speaking the version of you that you're working to become, even before you fully see them. Feed your mind with good things, because when the pressure hits, your mind won't rise to your goals. It'll fall to your training. And let me tell you about failure. True strength, failure is not the end of the story. It's just the opening scene of the comeback. It's the part where you learn what works and what doesn't. You strength, it's the place where confidence is refined. Because when you fall and get back up, something happens inside of you. You start realizing that you're stronger than the setback, that you're bigger than the mistake. That failure didn't define you. It refined you. True strength, that's how warriors are made. That's how confidence becomes unshakable. Not by never falling, but by rising every single time you do. Mental strength starts with a simple but powerful decision. The decision to face discomfort instead of running from it. See, true strength, most think strength is about how much you can carry, how much you can endure, or how long you can hold out. But real strength begins way before the pressure shows up. It begins when you choose not to hide from the hard things. When you look fear in the face and say, I'm not backing down. Discomfort is life's invitation to grow, but many turn it down. They trade growth for safety, development for convenience, and purpose for comfort. But nothing worth building ever comes without some kind of discomfort. Growth doesn't happen when you're resting. It happens when you're tested. That moment when everything in you wants to quit, when your mind says, take the easy way out. And you say, no, I'm staying in this. That's where mental strength is born. You build it not in the moments of glory, but in the quiet struggles where no one sees you. When you force yourself to keep going, to stay disciplined. True show up when you don't feel like it. That's how you build a mind that doesn't bend under pressure. Avoiding discomfort might bring temporary peace, but it robs you of long-term strength. You can't escape difficulty and expect to grow. You've got to face it, lean into it, and let it shape you. Use strength, because every time you push through, you prove to yourself that you're stronger than your excuses, bigger than your fears, and tougher than your feelings. That decision to face discomfort, that's the foundation of real, lasting mental strength. Confidence is built through consistency, not convenience. True strength, it doesn't show up because the conditions are perfect, or because you're having a good day. A real confidence is earned in the trenches, through the daily decisions to keep showing up, even when it's hard, even when you're tired, even when no one's watching. Convenience will give you comfort, but it will never give you confidence. Because anything that comes easy won't last. Confidence grows when you do the work over and over again, when you push past your limits, when you stay committed to the process. Not just when it's exciting, but especially when it's boring, repetitive, and tough. You don't become confident by waiting until you feel ready. You become confident by doing the thing while you're still unsure, still afraid, still figuring it out. That's what consistency does. It teaches you to trust yourself. Every time you honor your word, every time you follow through, every time you keep going when quitting would be easier, you build a reputation with yourself. And that reputation is where true confidence comes from. It doesn't come from applause or approval. It comes from integrity. From knowing that you've done the work, that you've earned your ground, that you've shown up for yourself when no one else did. Convenience asks, what's easy? But consistency asks, what's necessary? And if you're serious about becoming the person you were born to be, then you already know the easy road won't take you there. Confidence is not a feeling you wait for. It's a muscle you build, and like any muscle, it grows with repetition. Show up. Do the work. Stay with it, even when it's hard, even when you don't feel like it. Because confidence doesn't come from convenience. It comes from your commitment. Fear will always be present, but courage is acting in spite of it. Too many people wait for fear to disappear before they move, not realizing that fear isn't something you outgrow. It's something you learn to move through. Fear doesn't vanish just because you gain more knowledge or more experience. In fact, the greater your dreams, the more fear tends to show up. True strength, it whispers in your ear when you're about to take a risk, step into the unknown, or rise above your current level. True strength, but the presence of fear doesn't mean you're not ready. It means you're human. True strength, the difference between the people who rise and the people who retreat isn't that one feels no fear. It's that one chooses not to be ruled by it. Courage doesn't ignore fear, it acknowledges it, stares it down, and moves anyway. It says, I feel it, but it won't stop me. That's what separates the average from the extraordinary, the willingness to take the step even when your knees are shaking. Because every breakthrough lives on the other side of fear. Every new chapter, every bold decision, every great story begins with a moment of resistance and the courage to push through it. When you act in spite of fear, you reclaim your power. You train your mind to follow faith, not panic. You prove to yourself that fear doesn't define you. Your decisions do. You may never silence fear completely, but you can drown it out with action. Every time you move forward despite feeling afraid, you take away a little more of fear's control. You gain ground. You build courage like a muscle. And before you know it, the very things that used to terrify you become stepping stones under your feet. Fear may knock at the door, but you don't have to invite it in. Let it talk, but don't let it stop you. Because courage is not waiting until you're fearless. It's moving even when you're not. What you feed your mind becomes the voice you believe. True strength, your thoughts don't just come out of nowhere. They're shaped by what you expose yourself to every single day. The music you listen to, the people you spend time with, the things you read, the content you scroll through. All of it is shaping the way you think, the way you see yourself, and what you believe is possible. The mind is like soil, it will grow whatever you plant in it. If you feed it doubt, it will produce insecurity. If you feed it negativity, it will echo back fear. But if you feed it truth, hope, discipline, and vision, then when pressure hits, those are the voices that will rise up inside you. The challenge is, most people don't even realize what they're feeding their minds. True strength, they just consume whatever is loud, whatever is trending, whatever is easy. But easy doesn't mean healthy. Just like your body needs the right food to grow strong, your mind needs the right input to stay resilient. If all you're feeding yourself is comparison, criticism, fear-based narratives, or messages that tell you're not enough, eventually, those voices become your inner dialogue. And once that voice gets inside your head, it becomes your belief. And your belief becomes your behavior. And your behavior becomes your life. You have to be intentional. You have to protect your mental space like it's sacred. Because it is. You have to choose what you allow in. Read things that challenge you. Listen to voices that build you. Speak words that align with who you're becoming, not just who you've been. The mind will always echo what it's been exposed to the most. So give it the kind of input that strengthens it, sharpens it, and calls out the best in you. Because whatever you feed it, that's the voice that's going to speak the loudest when you need strength the most. Make sure it's a voice worth listening to. Failure is not the end. It's the classroom where confidence is born. Most people treat failure like a wall, a final stop, a dead end. But the truth is, failure is a teacher. It's not there to break you, it's there to build you. Every time fall, every time you stumble, every time something doesn't go as planned, life is giving you feedback. It's teaching you something about who you are, what needs to grow, and how much more strength you still have inside. You don't become confident by never messing up. You become confident by falling down and getting back up. True strength again and again until standing becomes second nature. Confidence built without failure is shallow. It's easily shaken because it's never been tested. But when you've failed and stood back up, when you've been counted out but kept showing up, when you've tasted disappointment and still chose to believe, that's when confidence starts to grow deep. Because now it's not based on hype or image. Truth's based on experience. You know you can survive. You've seen yourself rise from setbacks. You've earned yourself respect in the hardest moments. True strength, not the easy ones. Failure doesn't mean you're not good enough. It means you're trying, stretching, reaching for something greater. And in that space, that uncomfortable, painful, humbling space, confidence is born. Not from perfection, but from perseverance. Not from always winning, but from refusing to quit. So don't fear failure. Don't avoid it, embrace it. Learn from it. Let it refine you. Because the most confident people you'll ever meet aren't the ones who've never failed. They're the ones who failed and chose to rise anyway. So hear me clearly. Mental strength and confidence aren't gifts. They're decisions. They're habits. They're earned. And they belong to the ones who are willing to push through fear, embrace discomfort, show up with consistency, speak life into themselves, and rise after every fall. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be persistent. You don't need the crowd to believe in you. You need to believe in yourself. Build your mind like you're building a legacy. Train it like your future depends on it, because it does. The world doesn't need more perfect people. It needs more strong ones, bold ones, people who've been through the fire and came out with fire in their eyes. That can be you. That will be you. Start building today.